Hey guys, Chris here with Work2Game, and it is time for an introduction to Final Fantasy. And I am actually going to be doing a brief series here on all of the tabs, just making sure that there's nothing you've missed. Maybe you're new to the game, so it's all new. Maybe you've played for a long time, and once you got comfortable with the game, you've never really focused on maybe there's something I'm missing. So let's go ahead and dive in, starting with the Character tab. So the Character tab is down here on the left, and it starts with Stance, which simply just adjusts you to your battle stance. You can bind this to a key, that's really all it does. The next is a big one. This is Actions and Traits. Now after you have a class equipped, this is going to be where all of your actions are, and this is how you can kind of drag those down, and it sorts them by class and job, which is wonderful. Then you have role abilities, and your role abilities, especially when you're talking about battle, you know, I share these with like red mages. And so as you move to different classes, you'll notice that like when I have Paladin, these are my tanking ones, and so you unlock the ability to have a certain number of these equipped. Hopefully you are taking advantage of these. I'm leveling up my Paladin, so you'll notice mine are blank, but long term, that's a problem. The next is traits, and these are just telling you little things. Most of them are increasing stats, but they kind of help you. You do want to be familiar with these, just so that if you are trying to do theory crafting or understand the math behind a rotation, these have big effects on how you play. Then we go on to orders. This is a great way to bind things like, you know, sending your chocobo away, having different stats for it. So if you're trying to control it, maybe you're trying to attack things for a leave quest and it keeps killing them, and so you can either just send it away or you can tell it like, why don't you just leave it alone? I want you in healer stance, but I don't want you to keep attacking it because I have to cast an item on it before you kill it each time. We also have Squadron here, and you're going to need this one if you're doing those command missions, because the re-engage and engage, those actually toggle on and off, but or the disengage and re-engage, but you're going to want those because they will stand in AoEs, so on boss fights you will fail. As we move on to General, this is where you're going to find a lot of abilities, like your ability to dig and mount. I usually use Flying Mount Roulette for mine. I keep it bound here on this top bar that I share for all of my classes, so it is always Shift R to get on my Flying Mount. Things like Limit Breaker here, these are things that you're going to need on all of your classes. Your Sprint, your Teleport, so if you accidentally drag that off of the original bar and you lose track of it, this is how you get it back. Now we move into main commands, and so should you want any of these on your bar, it is a great place to put it. There are multiple different areas, so a ton of different menus, maybe some menus you've never even seen. So this is an interesting way to kind of put those down here if you don't necessarily have a keybind saved for them. Maybe you want to manually click them just like you do these down here. No big deal. And then we move to extras. If you have not looked into these cameras and stuff, I believe Brian's made a video about it. I've definitely heard him talk about it on stream. So definitely, if he doesn't have a video, get on that guy, because these are really cool if you just want something to share with friends. And so that is actions and traits. Moving on, we have currency. There are multiple tabs. Thankfully, as of 4.1, there's a lot more in here. So it used to just be battle and common, but now you have things like all your beast tribes and everything's in here. I don't know that I've turned all mine in, but this is where you find out like how many seals you have, how many ventures you have left. These are where you get for the golden saucer, so your MGP, how much gil I have at the moment, running a little low, and kind of just all your tomes. So definitely a good thing to know. You can also get to that by just clicking on the currency down in the bottom right. So not a horribly urgent thing to be able to get to, but it is there. And we move on to your Armory Chest. Now this it fills up often, so if you want to get to it, another way to get to it is when you open up your character pane, you can actually just click on any items and it'll take you there. But it's nice to know that you can go straight to the Armory Chest, and this also can be bound. Your inventory, I'm sure you found this. There is a way to sort it like this as opposed to sorting it all in bags. That's just a preference. We'll get to that in a later video. We're mostly focused on the character tab, but this will kind of help you see like how many crystals you have. It's an incredibly important thing to manage, and that is where it is. We move on to Companion. This is your Chocobo. Mine is stabled at the moment, but that'll take you to that tab. And then your Mount Guide, how many mounts I have at the moment. I have a bunch that are about to unlock, but I could use quite a bit more. We move to Minions. Hopefully you have quite a few of these. I love me some mounts, I love me some minions, and in this game I need a whole lot more of them. As we move on down, we have your PvP profile. This is kind of how much PvP you've done, your overall wins and victories, and you can start to see like your PvP actions. Keep in mind for macros, these are different, so the easiest way to get to your PvP bars is to go to the Wolves Den, but this is where you can kind of find those and drag and drop them should you accidentally lose one as you're creating your class. And we move right on down to Golden Saucer. If you've ever wondered where your cards are, this is where you can make your decks. Mine reset when I moved to PS4 and I've just never remade them. This is your card list, so you can see if you have one, and maybe you're looking at buying some or something from a vendor and you kind of want to know before you buy it, is it new to you? Your Verminion, your Chocobo, if you've been doing Chocobo racing. And so it'll also just kind of tell you where you're at with, okay, redeemables and all of that. So you do want to do those kind of every Saturday if you're trying to save up MGP for one of the mounts. I only wanted the turtle mount, so once I got it, MGP kind of dropped lower down my priority list. I should get back in there and get my Fenrir mount, but it's just not a priority. And then your achievements pane. So this is a wonderful way to see what can I be working on next. So right now I'm leveling up my miner, trying to get it to 70 before the end of the year. Trying to get all 3 of my gatherers up to 70 before the end of the year. And so I've been pushing through that. But they're sorted into different tabs. You can get lost in this. Next time you're sitting around waiting for a dungeon to pop or something, this is a great place to jump in. I did a video on these veteran wards that is coming up, and so for every 50 achievement points you do get a currency, and these can be spent on some neat things over in Old Gridania. So definitely a great tab to go get a feel for what is going on, what could you be doing more of, what could, how am I doing on my hunting logs and all of that. As far as getting those points and just making sure you're experiencing all that Final Fantasy has to offer. So that is the character tab in a nutshell. I just wanted to kind of introduce these because maybe there's something in there that you didn't realize was available. Sometimes, especially if I've taken a break from the game, and so I come back and I'm just trying to catch up, I don't always... it doesn't sink in, even if I read the patch notes. And so then later I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool if... And then I feel so dumb when Brian's like, dude, that's been a thing for 6 months. And it's already in the game. And so, I'm just trying to go through these. I will make these videos tab by tab by tab to make sure that there's no little just simple notes, super straightforward, that maybe you just never noticed. So if you're new to the game, definitely welcome to Final Fantasy, and that is really it. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Chris. This is Worked Game. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments section. If you have any suggestions for new players, especially centered on the character tab, definitely toss those in there. If there's anything you've found, I know some of those topics I kind of briefly just shot over them because there's more advanced aspects of them in the later tabs. So I'm going to be going left to right as these videos come out over the next several weeks. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to check out any other videos, you should click over here. And then we've got like some kind of vlog thing down here in the corner. And then we've got like subscribe. Yeah, like that's really, you should totally do it. This was a complete disaster.